Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for watching. Here in this video, basically this is going to be somewhat of an advertisement. Now don't run away. I'm not a shill. I haven't been bought out by some other people doing this. This is actually an advertisement for my brother and his company that he is starting with these assault pencils. Okay, I've mentioned these on the channel before on some of the end of my videos, and I posted it on Instagram and all that. It's a really cool idea, I think. He came up with it. As far as I know, nobody else really has anything like this necessarily. Just assault pencils. And basically, the rest of this video is a long, kind of long. I cut it as short as I could for him. But an explanation of how we came up with the idea, what the whole thing stands for, what the purpose is behind it. So I'm going to shut up and let him explain basically what this whole thing is about. But if you're so inclined, please do support him. I'll put a link to to his website and all that stuff down below. He's just starting out, and really if he can get these rolling, and he mentions this in the video, if he can get these first initial pencils sold, then he's got a bunch of different other ideas that he's going to come out with. So like I said, if you're so inclined, please do support him. And they're really cool products. So I'm going to let him get to it. Y'all be good, you be safe. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate your support and all that. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.
My name is Abraham Downing. I'm the founder of Assault Pencils. My brother and I are very big gun advocates. He has his own YouTube channel. We talk frequently about what we think about different things that are happening in the country and politics and others. As you well know, I mean, you'd have to really be not paying attention to realize that gun control and gun regulations and things like that have been a very hot topic in our political climate recently. The other day we were talking about it, and you know, there's been several school shootings and other mass shootings recently, and they kind of dominate the news. People talk about the school shootings and, you know, oh, we should take away, you know, guns and put so many restrictions on them and all this other stuff. And the dialogue goes back and forth. You know, people will say we need to take away all the guns, and then the pro-gun people will say, well, if you take away, you know, if you take the guns away, people are just going to use knives. If you take the knives away, they'll use sticks, so on and so forth. And it came up that there was a school stabbing fairly recently. It's been a few months ago now. There are 17 people stabbed, and I believe 2 people killed in this school, which I'm not very good at keeping track of numbers, but I'm pretty sure that's more people than were injured in some of the more recent, you know, more major school shootings. And, you know, it's just, there's just the slight tinge of irony there, because it didn't make any major headlines. Nobody paid attention to it. I mean, there were a couple news articles, because anything like that is going to get some attention. But nobody's, you know, out there, you know, saying how bad it was, even though it had a much bigger effect as far as casualties than some of the school shootings that have happened. All of these events are horrible events. We don't want to make light of that. They are very, you know, it's terrible that none of these should happen. No one should have to go through what the people that were there went through. So we got to talking about it, and we were like, you know, this is just silly. We need to ban pencils, because there's these kids running around out there with, you know, pencils that are, you know, 7 inches long, sharpened to a point, and I mean, they can just stab each other whenever they want. And, you know, it only takes, I believe, 3 or 4 inches to be able to stab someone in the heart, and these are 7-inch pencils. There's no reason for anyone to be able to just be running around with this, you know, able to stab 3 or 4 people easily, you know, within less than a minute with one of these assault pencils. And that's about how silly as some of the dialogue sounds. Now, granted, we don't actually think that about pencils, and some of the arguments aren't as ridiculous as what the pencil argument sounded like. But there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's politicians that are saying that, you know, a rifle has a 30 mag clip with a bullet button capable of shooting 3,000 rounds in a minute. And it's like, you know, I would love to see that gun, first off, because that's a pretty high fire rate. And a 30 mag clip does not exist. There's no such thing as a 30 mag clip. What makes it difficult is that there's so much dialogue out there, and it's a very heated discussion. Everyone thinks they're right, and no one's willing to sit down and listen to the other person. At least that's how it comes across as. There's so many big flashy signs, posters, shirts, hats, whatever. You block it out after so long. You just block it out and you don't care anymore. That's kind of where our assault pencil comes in. Our assault pencils have two purposes. First off, yes, we want to make a statement about the Second Amendment. It's there as just a subtle, small, quiet statement for that. In our experience so far, when people see our pencil, they see, oh yeah, an assault pencil, and they laugh about it and they think it's great. No matter what side of the argument they're on. I've had people come up and say, oh, that's hilarious, but really we should be regulating guns. Not all of them are assault rifles, but we should be regulating these ones or those ones or whatnot. And then there's other people that are like, oh yeah, that's great. They shouldn't be regulating anything. I want to buy 5,000 assault rifles tomorrow. Extremes, I'm exaggerating slightly. But the point is, people on both sides of the argument can see it, understand it. If they want to say something about it, they can. If they don't want to get into the discussion, they don't have to. It is very important to stand up for our Second Amendment. Our Second Amendment is there to protect us from tyrants and from our government trying to go against the will of the people. But just as important, if not more important than the Second Amendment, is our First Amendment rights. The second purpose, though, is to promote our First Amendments. There's a saying that I'm sure everyone has heard, the pen is more powerful than the sword, which is true. The way I see it, the way I believe, the First Amendment is our first line of defense against a tyrannical government, a corrupt government. And if they take away our First Amendment, that's what the Second Amendment is there for, is to take the First Amendment back. So we believe it's very important to be able to voice your opinion however you want, whatever your opinion is. You should be able to say whatever you want on whatever platform, whether it's making a YouTube video or putting a post on Facebook or writing a letter to your senator with a number 2 pencil. And we believe that a regular pencil is a very symbolic tool for expressing yourself. Everyone at some point in their life has used a number 2 pencil. From the time you're in probably first or second grade, you're using a number 2 pencil to do your homework, to write out whatever, write a letter to your grandma, whatever. It's the most basic form of communication, other than, of course, speech. That's why one of the reasons why we've chosen just a standard number 2 pencil to be our flagship for promoting your First and Second Amendment. In the future, we will have we have other options coming out. We're gonna make, if this goes well, which is solely in your hands, as our customers. If there's interest, we have other pencils that we have designs for that we're just waiting to have made. We're looking at making pens. And there's more things in the work that we are looking into making, depending on what the response is. We hope that you can see what we're trying to do. We're not trying to be out there and be a loud, bold statement saying anyone who's anti-gun is wrong. Our product is not to be an antagonistic, controversial product. It is there to be useful. Obviously, it's a pencil, but also to be just a conversation piece. It's up to you to decide how bold you want to be with it. You can be as bold as someone else wearing a Make America Great Again hat or any other gun rights paraphernalia, for lack of a better term. You can be as bold as you want with it, or you can just keep a cup full of them or a box of them on your desk, or what have you. It's completely up to you to what level you want to take it. That is our goal, is to give you another avenue to stand up for your rights, whether it be First Amendment or Second Amendment. That should be it. If anyone has any questions, leave comments below or send me an email. I'll have that attached as well. Just get a hold of me, ask questions. I'm usually attached to my phone 24/7. And I love answering questions about it. We've had a lot of good ones so far. Hopefully this video covers all of them, and hopefully the word spreads. Hopefully people, want to be part of this conversation. You know, it's a very big thing. I think it gets put out of proportion as far as how important our First and Second Amendment are. But there's a reason that there are First and Second. Like, they go hand in hand, and they're the most important amendments out there. They're the most important thing to the people of our country. So I hope this answers your questions. If you have more, like I said, I'm repeating myself. If you have more, let me know, and I will get back with you. Thank you.